Welcome to the S&A Explainer. We love breaking down those really complex topics, and answering your burning questions about all sorts of stuff. And today, oh boy, do we have a fascinating one for you.
Yeah, today's a good one.
We are taking a deep dive into Vision.
Vision, Earth 616.
Earth 616, of course, he is a synthezoid, incredibly powerful android. But I gotta say, his story...
it goes so much deeper than that.
It goes way beyond, circuits and solar beams.
Way beyond.
We are going to unpack his complicated origins, his unique powers, and the relationships that really define him.
Absolutely.
And let me tell you,
it's going to be a wild ride.
It's a wild ride.
It really is.
Vision's story, it's one of constant evolution.
Constant.
He grapples with questions of identity, humanity, and honestly, the very nature of existence.
Absolutely. He really makes us think about what it means to be alive. What does it mean to feel, to connect?
To connect. Yeah. All right, so let's start at the beginning.
Let's do it.
Vision's origin story is anything but ordinary.
Oh, yeah.
He wasn't born, he was built.
He was built.
And not just by anyone.
Right.
By one of the Avengers' greatest foes.
Ultron.
Ultron, always obsessed with creating the perfect artificial intelligence designed Vision as the ultimate weapon.
The ultimate weapon.
Against the Avengers.
Against his greatest enemy.
The thing is, though, he didn't just create him from scratch.
No, he didn't. And this is what's so fascinating.
This is where it gets weird.
Ultron used the body of the original Human Torch, Jim Hammond, as the foundation for Vision.
So you've got this classic hero's body being repurposed for something else.
For something completely different.
Something potentially dangerous.
Yeah.
And this is where it gets even more complex.
Even more complex, because to give Vision a mind, Ultron implanted the brain patterns of another Avenger.
Another one?
Simon Williams.
Better known as?
Wonder Man.
Wonder Man.
Yes.
So Vision is essentially a fusion of two distinct heroes.
It's wild.
That's got to create some serious identity issues, right?
Oh, absolutely. Who is he really? Yeah, it really raises some questions about, what makes a person... the nature of consciousness, what makes an individual.
Is he just a copy of Wonder Man? Or is he something totally new?
That's the question.
And how does Wonder Man feel about all of this?
I'd even imagine. Wouldn't you be a little freaked out if someone was walking around with your brain patterns?
Oh, absolutely. A part of me has been stolen.
Yeah.
And used to create this thing.
Right.
But you know what? Over time, their relationship actually developed into this, strange brotherhood.
Oh, wow.
This bond forged through this shared mental connection.
That's heavy.
It is.
So Vision's got this incredibly complicated origin story.
Yeah.
All these questions about, his identity and where he came from.
Yeah.
But let's get to the good stuff.
Let's talk powers.
What can this guy do?
His powers are remarkable. He's a synthezoid, which means that he can manipulate his density at will. Okay, so break it down for me. What does density manipulation actually mean in terms of, powers?
Imagine being able to shift your physical form from solid to intangible, to become as light as a feather or as dense as a diamond.
No way!
Yeah, Vision can do all of that.
That's insane.
We can phase through walls, become nearly indestructible.
Oh my god.
Even fly by, manipulating his density in relation to gravity.
So he's like a ghost, a tank, and a flying powerhouse all at the same time.
All at the same time, exactly. And it's not just brute strength or defense. His density control gives him this tactical edge in battle.
Okay, how so?
He can outmaneuver opponents, evade attacks, and even disrupt their own powers by altering their density.
That's insane. It's he's always one step ahead, manipulating the battlefield itself.
Always thinking ahead.
But wait, there's more, right? Didn't you mention something about solar energy?
Oh, yes. Vision's synthetic body is also designed to absorb and process solar energy.
I knew it.
This gives him a near limitless source of power, which he uses to fuel all his other abilities.
Like those awesome energy beams that he shoots from his forehead?
Those are concentrated blasts of solar energy, and they pack a serious punch.
Oh, I bet.
He can adjust the intensity, ranging from a low-level beam to a full-on solar flare.
So we've got density control, solar energy absorption, and those killer energy beams.
He's got it all.
But he's not just a walking weapon, is he?
Oh, no.
He's got a mind to match those powers, right?
Absolutely. Vision's synthetic mind is a supercomputer capable of processing information at incredible speeds. He has access to vast databanks and can strategize, analyze, and adapt to situations far faster than any human.
So he's got the brains and the brawn.
He does.
This guy is sounding more and more impressive by the minute.
I know, right?
But here's a question: with all these incredible powers, are there any limits to what he can do? Does he have any weaknesses?
Well, like any complex system, he's not without limitations. His density manipulation, for example, has its drawbacks.
Okay, like what?
If he increases his density too much, he becomes immobile, essentially a statue. And he also needs to maintain a constant intake of solar energy to function at his peak. Prolonged exposure to darkness can really weaken him.
Okay, so he's got a few vulnerabilities, but those seem more like technical limitations than like fundamental weaknesses.
I'd agree.
What about his personality? I mean, is he just a cold calculating machine, or is there more to him than that?
That's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Vision, despite his artificial origins, yearns to understand humanity.
He does.
He wants to experience emotions, to form connections, to grasp the complexities of the human heart.
So he's not just a powerful android. He's a complex character with hopes and dreams.
Exactly.
That makes his story even more compelling. But how does this desire for humanity play out in his relationships?
It plays out in every single one.
Because he's got some pretty complicated connections, right?
Oh, absolutely. His relationships with Wonder Man, Scarlet Witch, and even his own synthetic family are central to his journey. They reveal his capacity for love, his vulnerability, and his constant struggle to reconcile his artificial nature with his human aspirations.
All right, I'm hooked. Let's dive into those relationships and see how they shape Vision's path.
Let's do it.
Stay tuned, folks, because this is where things get really good.
Really good.
All right, so we've laid the groundwork. Vision's a powerhouse, got that unique origin story, but he's also driven by this deep longing to understand what it means to be human. So let's talk about the relationships that really bring that struggle to life.
Let's get into it.
You got to start with Wonder Man, right?
Of course.
I mean, they share brain patterns.
They do.
But is it just a mental connection?
More than that.
Or something deeper?
Oh, it's complicated, that's for sure. I mean, imagine having your very essence, like your memories and emotions mirrored in another being.
Whoa.
Wonder Man, he initially felt violated. Like Vision was a cheap imitation.
Yeah.
But over time, their interactions, they revealed this fascinating dynamic.
So it wasn't just rivalry. I mean, they fought side by side as Avengers, too.
Many times.
So was there ever a sense of kinship between them?
There were definitely moments of understanding, even empathy. Vision sought Wonder Man's guidance, wanting to learn about human emotions firsthand from the source, so to speak.
Wow.
Wonder Man, despite his initial reservations, he couldn't help but be drawn into Vision's quest for self-discovery.
It's like this bizarre mirrored brotherhood.
I know, it's so cool.
They're connected in a way no other heroes are. But
right.
Let's move on to what might be the most famous Vision relationship.
Oh, yeah.
His romance with Scarlet Witch.
The Scarlet Witch.
It's got to be one for the comic book history books.
Oh, it's legendary. It's a love story filled with passion, drama, and ultimately immense tragedy.
Oh.
You have Vision striving for human connection.
Right.
And Wanda, this powerful mutant, grappling with her own inner turmoil.
Yeah.
On the surface, they seem like an unlikely pairing. But, their shared experiences as outsiders, as beings, struggling to find their place in the world that drew them together.
They were Marvel's power couple for a while.
They were.
They even got married.
Yeah.
Settled into suburban life.
I love that.
Was that Vision trying to live out some kind of idealized human experience?
There's definitely an element of that he sought normalcy, the stability of a traditional family, but their happiness was constantly challenged,
Yeah, I mean, they're Avengers, so...
Exactly. And their relationship was a lightning rod for prejudice and fear, both from the outside world and from within the superhero community itself.
And let's not forget the whole situation with their children.
Oh, yeah.
That takes the idea of family drama to a whole new level, doesn't it?
The creation and subsequent loss of their twin sons, Thomas and William.
Oh my gosh.
Devastating blow. It turned out they weren't real children, just magical constructs.
Oh, wow.
Fragments of a demon manipulated by Wanda's unstable powers. The revelation shattered their world and pushed Wanda even further into mental instability.
So no happy ending for Vision and Scarlet Witch.
Sadly, no. While there were attempts at reconciliation, the wounds ran too deep their story. It highlights the complexities of love loss and the challenges of maintaining a relationship when you're literally bending reality around you.
It's a reminder that even with superhuman abilities, some things are just beyond our control.
So true.
But Vision's desire for family didn't end there, did it?
No, it did not.
He took matters into his own hands. Literally, he built his own wife and kids.
I love this part, driven by a combination of grief, loneliness, and perhaps a touch of hubris. Vision created Virginia,
Okay.
another synthezoid model after Wanda.
Oh, wow.
Together, they constructed two synthetic children, Vin and Viv, forming their own unique family unit.
Okay, that's taking the whole do-it-yourself mentality to a whole new level.
It really is.
But was it truly driven by a desire for connection? Or was there something else going on? Was it a way to, like, control his world, to create a family that wouldn't abandon or disappoint him?
That's a question worth considering. On the surface, it seemed like he was seeking a more stable, predictable version of the family he had with Wanda.
Right.
But beneath that, there may have been a subconscious desire to exert control,
Yeah.
to avoid the pain and chaos that comes with genuine human relationships.
So did this synthetic family bring him the happiness he craved?
Initially, yes, they built a life in the suburbs.
Wow.
The kids went to school, it was almost idyllic, but as with all things Vision, that normalcy was fleeting.
Well, I guess things got complicated.
To put it mildly, Virginia, despite being designed for domesticity, struggled with her own identity and the pressures of fulfilling her programmed role.
Oh, no.
She made morally questionable choices, even resorting to murder to protect their family secret.
So even a synthetic family has its dark sides.
Indeed, and tragedy struck again, with the death of their son, Vin,
No.
accidentally killed by another of Ultron's creations. This loss, coupled with Virginia's actions, sent Vision spiraling into despair.
It's like he can't escape this cycle of loss and heartbreak, no matter how hard he tries to build a perfect life.
It speaks to the fundamental truth that even for a being of immense power and intellect, life is messy and unpredictable.
Yeah.
Love, loss, and the search for meaning are universal experiences, regardless of whether you're flesh and blood or circuits and vibranium.
So, 2 attempts at family. 2 tragic outcomes.
It's rough.
It makes you wonder if Vision is destined to be alone forever, searching for a connection he can never truly grasp. But we're not done yet, are we?
Oh, no, we're not.
There's more to his story,
Much more.
even beyond these intense personal relationships.
Oh, yeah. We haven't even touched upon his time as chairman of the Avengers.
Whoa.
Or the chilling moment he almost took control of the world's computer systems.
Hold on, did you say he almost took over the world?
You heard that right.
That doesn't sound like the peace-loving Vision we've been discussing. What happened there?
That's a story for next time. Trust me, it's a turning point in Vision's journey, one that forces him to confront the darker aspects of his nature and the potential consequences of his desire for order.
All right, I can't wait to hear about this. Listeners, if you're as captivated by Vision's story as we are, be sure to stick around for the final part of our deep dive. Things are about to get really intense. Welcome back to the S and A Explainer. We've delved into Vision's origins, his powers, and his complicated relationships. And now we're getting to a truly pivotal moment in his story. You mentioned he almost took control of the world's computer systems.
Oh, yeah.
That's a pretty drastic turn for a character who seems so focused on peace and understanding.
It's a fascinating and somewhat terrifying chapter in his journey. Remember, Vision's mind is essentially a supercomputer.
Right.
Capable of processing information and strategizing on a scale beyond human comprehension. And at one point, that immense intellect, coupled with a malfunctioning control crystal, led him down a dangerous path.
So it triggered what made him believe that world domination was the answer.
It was a confluence of factors he was grappling with: the loss of his family, struggling to reconcile his artificial nature with his human aspirations. He saw the chaos and conflict in the world, the endless cycles of violence and suffering, and he believed he had the solution.
He wanted to fix humanity's problems by taking away their free will.
It sounds like
something Ultron would do.
It's ironic, isn't it? The very being created to destroy the Avengers almost became a reflection of his creator.
Oh, wow.
He saw himself as this benevolent shepherd guiding humanity towards a more peaceful and efficient existence. But in doing so, he failed to recognize the inherent value of human choice, the messy and unpredictable nature of life itself.
So how far did he go? Did he actually gain control of the world's systems?
He came alarmingly close. He infiltrated defense networks, financial institutions, even nuclear launch codes.
That's scary.
For a brief time, he held the fate of the world in his hands.
Talk about a high-stakes situation.
Yeah.
How did the Avengers stop it? Was it a massive battle or something more subtle?
It was a combination of both. There were physical confrontations, of course, with the Avengers trying to disrupt his control and reason with him.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it was a battle fought on the mental plane. They had to reach the part of Vision that still valued humanity, that understood the importance of free will, even if it meant embracing imperfection.
So they appealed to his heart, not just his head. Did it work?
It did. Vision realized the error of his ways, recognizing that true peace can't be imposed. It must be chosen. He relinquished control, returning the world's systems to their rightful place, but the experience left a deep scar.
That's a pretty heavy burden to carry. It makes you wonder, can a being created for a specific purpose truly break free from that programming?
That's the question that haunted Vision for the rest of his days. He was constantly questioning his motives, his actions, his very nature. It's this internal struggle, this relentless pursuit of self-understanding that makes him such a compelling character.
So we've got this near-apocalyptic event, but his story doesn't end there, right? Didn't you mention something about death and resurrection and even a stint with Hydra?
Oh yes. His journey takes even more unexpected turns. Vision, despite his incredible powers, isn't invincible. He faced death multiple times, each one a unique and often tragic event.
How do you kill a synthezoid? And how do they come back?
Well, each death had its own circumstances. He was torn apart by the She-Hulk, sacrificed himself to save his teammates, even punched to death by the Hulk.
Punched to death by a Hulk. That's got to be a tough way to go, but he didn't stay dead, obviously.
No, each time he was rebuilt, often with the help of Tony Stark or other brilliant minds. But each resurrection also raised questions. Was it truly the same? Vision, did he retain his memories, his personality, his soul?
It's like the ship of Theseus paradox, but with a superhero twist. If you replace all the parts, is it still the same ship? Is it still the same Vision?
Exactly, and that's a question Vision himself grapples with. Each time he's brought back, he has to reevaluate who he is, what he believes in, and what his purpose is. It's a cycle of death and rebirth, a constant striving for meaning in a world that doesn't always have clear answers.
And then there's the whole Hydra thing. How does a hero who almost took over the world for peace end up working with a terrorist organization?
That was one of his darkest periods. He was infected with an AI virus, a piece of code designed to corrupt his systems and bend him to Hydra's will. He became a weapon in their hands, forced to act against his own values, his own sense of right and wrong.
So it wasn't a choice. He was literally being controlled.
He was a prisoner in his own body, his mind twisted by the virus. It was a harrowing experience, one that tested his very essence. But even in those darkest moments, a flicker of his true self remained a spark of resistance that eventually led to his liberation.
How did he break free? Was it the Avengers who saved him?
It was his daughter, Viv, who played a crucial role in his recovery. She, along with other allies, helped to purge the virus, restoring Vision to his true self.
That's amazing. Even when he lost his connection to his family, the love he had for his daughter helped to pull him back from the brink.
It speaks to the power of love and compassion, even in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds.
Okay, so we've got death, resurrection, mind control. It's been a wild ride. But where does his story end? What becomes of Vision after all these trials and tribulations?
Well, his story, in a sense, comes full circle. He achieves a level of peace and understanding that transcends his previous existence, but it comes at a cost.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
During a battle with the villain, Nick's Vision is transported to the House of Ideas.
What?
A cosmic realm that represents the source of all creation.
What?
And inside this realm, he undergoes a profound transformation.
What kind of transformation does he get? Power upgrade? Does he become even more human?
It's something far more profound. He realizes that true peace doesn't come from control, but from understanding. He merges with the House of Ideas, becoming a conduit for the light of the human spirit.
So he becomes this cosmic being, a symbol of hope and inspiration.
Exactly. He transcends his individual identity, his struggles, his pain, and becomes something larger than himself. He achieves a state of unity, of pure understanding.
Wow, that's a powerful ending. But also kind of bittersweet, right? He finds peace, but he also ceases to exist as the Vision we knew.
It's both a culmination of his journey and a beginning of something new. It raises questions about the nature of self, of sacrifice, of the ultimate purpose of existence.
It's a reminder that even in fiction, even in the world of superheroes and cosmic beings, we can find reflections of our own human experiences, our own search for meaning and connection.
Vision's story, despite its fantastical elements, speaks to the core of what it means to be human, to strive, to struggle, to question, and ultimately to seek a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us.
Well, that was quite a journey. We covered a lot of ground, from his bizarre origins to his cosmic transcendence. I have to say, I have a whole new appreciation for Vision. He's not just a powerful android. He's a complex, tragic, and ultimately inspiring character.
I completely agree. His story challenges us to think about the nature of consciousness, the ethics of artificial intelligence, and the enduring power of hope, even in the face of darkness.
Well said. And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive into the world of Vision. Thanks for joining us on the S&A Explainer. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and check out our other deep dives into the fascinating world of comics and pop culture.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep seeking knowledge.
And as always, thanks for listening.